So I don't like to start off videos with bad news, but this is definitely something that a lot of people had comments on when it came to the article that came out recently with Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi. Now, they were talking to Bloomberg in an interview about his upcoming port of Fantasian from the Apple Arcade to the newer platforms, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. And they were also talking about his legacy in history with Square Enix, because obviously, for those who don't know, Hironobu Sakaguchi was huge. He is the creator of Final Fantasy. He was the president of Square Enix, and things went up into flames after the flop of the Final Fantasy movie, and he ended up moving on. And it seemed like there was some animosity, there was some bad blood, at least for a bit, some scorned feelings for the last number of years. But things changed around, especially with Final Fantasy 14 and how Hironobu Sakaguchi just could not put that game down. And then, of course, now recently we have Fantasian being published by Square Enix. And that's all good, but the bad news that came out of the article when it comes to the talk with Sakaguchi and with Bloomberg is that Mr. Sakaguchi is not planning or willing or wanting to revisit older Japanese RPGs that he's worked on. Now, for those who are in the know, and a lot of you guys on this channel, that is absolutely devastating news, because some of the finest RPGs in the mid 2000s were from Hironobu Sakaguchi and Mistwalker. And what they did with Lost Odyssey, which is an incredible, one of the greatest RPGs of all time, a personal 10 out of 10 RPG for me. That game came out and it was spectacular, and it never got the praise and recognition that it truly deserved, because at the time people were kind of down on old school Japanese RPGs, turn-based RPGs. Just the industry, especially the Western market, was just down on them. And on top of that, it was an Xbox 360 exclusive, which even at that point you're looking at it, it's like, okay, most of the audience for hardcore turn-based JRPGs are not on the Xbox 360, a platform that built its reputation and name off of online multiplayer and first-person shooters and Western games like Halo. So it's not like the system didn't have those games, because the 360 had a lot of them and people did like it on there, but those games absolutely were not the place where most of the fans were to pick up that type of game. And another game, which we're going to talk about here, in my opinion, that actually would benefit more from a modern remaster than Lost Odyssey, because Lost Odyssey plays great on Xbox One and Xbox Series, and that is Blue Dragon. This is an Akira Toriyama art style, looks like Dragon Ball Z but with 3D graphics. Mistwalker and Xbox teamed up for this one. There were some games on the Nintendo DS as well. There was an anime. They wanted to turn this into a massive franchise, and it just didn't have the clout. And it was on the Xbox 360. They tried to get it on Nintendo's platform to see if they can kind of steer people towards it with the children's anime as well, but it just never really worked out. But that game definitely has more issues. Fundamentally, from a tech perspective, in addition to just from a gameplay structure perspective, it has more issues than Lost Odyssey. And the backwards compatible on Blue Dragon isn't necessarily great on Xbox One and Xbox Series. So people were hoping that we could get some type of port to newer systems, some type of remaster or something with Blue Dragon, because I truly feel in today's day, with the type of games that we got, like Bravely Default that can sell over 1 million units, Octopath Traveler that can sell over 1 million units, the Ys franchise that's constantly doing well enough to get multiple sequels. We've got the Legend of Heroes franchise as well. I think that turn-based RPGs are just as popular or more popular than ever in terms of the wealth of Japanese RPGs that are out there that can survive, that can make money, that can pay all their employees and can keep things going and keep sequels coming. You see stuff like Super Mario RPG Remake selling 3.3 million units plus. So there's absolutely still a good sized market for that type of game. So when I hear stuff like in this interview where he says that he has no plans on really doing anything with Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey, and it made it very clear that he has no plans to do that, and he's really looking forward to just kind of doing something else. He has Fantasian, and then apparently he's writing for a new game. But it's absolutely a sad day for fans out there that Mr. Sakaguchi won't take a look. At the end of the day, it's Microsoft's call because they do own the Blue Dragon IP, but Microsoft does not have the leadership. Microsoft does not have the developers. Microsoft does not have the people within. They have a lot of developers and a lot of stuff. They have a lot of money, but they don't have the people within that care about Blue Dragon in order to bring it up. A lot of times when you see stuff get made, especially old school games or reboots or remakes, you have a developer or two that wants to put a pitch. They want to do something with it, and then it convinces the management to do that. If you watch Did You Know Gaming, you can see that all the time with various different games across the board. So they need somebody within Microsoft that's actually passionate about Blue Dragon. And a lot of fans were thinking Sakaguchi would be that person to go to them and say, hey, I want to do something with this. And I think that he could absolutely convince Phil Spencer to do it. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to. We do have Fantasian to look forward to. Neo Dimension, that game is looking awesome. It's going to be on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and everything. So I'm very happy that he's back in the limelight for that. But I'm hoping that he would reconsider overall, because I do think that there is potential in Blue Dragon to come back. And a lot of RPG fans would be happy in today's day. And I think that it would easily outsell the Xbox 360 release, which from what I understand, it's not confirmed or anything, but from what I understand, has sold a little bit less than 1 million or right around there. So I think it'd be super cool if he brought the game back and if he worked with Microsoft in order to get that done. But for right now, it's just going to be something to where we can just hope, but probably won't be happening anytime soon. Now, moving on to some good news here. We finally got an official release date for the Western release of Ys 10 Nordics, the latest Falcom RPG epic that people are really excited about. Now, it will officially launch for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via the Steam, Epic Game Store, GOG. Pretty much get it on any storefront there on PC on October 25th in the West. Publisher NIS America and developer Falcom have announced. Now, following their tenuous encounter at the sea, a young-haired red adventurer, Adal Christian, and the proud pirate Karja Balta find themselves bound by fate and the mysterious power of mana. As they search for a way to undo the mystical ties that bind them, they soon find themselves caught up in a conflict between two factions: the seafaring warriors known as the Normans and the enigmatic and seemingly immortal Greiger. In addition to save the people of Obela Gulf, Adal and Karja must navigate the depths of their unexpected bond and the power that it grants them. Now, the key features in this game, as you guys are watching this awesome release date trailer, you've got two heroes, one story. Bound by unexpected circumstances, the young adventurer Adal and the Norman pirate Karja must work together to determine the fate of the Obelia Gulf and its people. Cross-action system, which gets me really excited about this game. You can swap between controlling Adal and Karja independently or together. Combine their unique strengths to overcome enemies and build up the revenge gods to unleash devastating attacks. You have the power of mana. It's not a Secret of Mana game, but the power of mana is there. Harness the unique abilities of mana to overcome challenges, grapple and slide through dungeons, demolish obstacles, create new platforms, and uncover hidden treasures and critical points. You also have a Sailor's Delight. The sailing ship known as the Sandras takes your exploration to new levels. Ocean travel, naval battles, and discovering uncharted islands are all made possible with this seaworthy vessel. So they've added a lot of new different gameplay elements to keep things fresh, as the Ys games do come out somewhat frequently, but I like what they're doing here with Ys 10 Nordics. I think this is an interesting setting when it comes to the whole pirate angle. You have the different ship combat and ship stuff that you can do, but also the cross-action system that allows you to control independently or together for team up and double attacks. So all of that is looking really good at this point, and with a release date finally here for October 25th in the West, you'll be able to pick it up on PlayStation, pick it up on Nintendo Switch, PC. No Xbox version, which is unfortunate, but these games, Falcom titles, don't really come over to Xbox. But I think most people that play these games are going to be okay with the platforms that it's releasing on. So what do you guys think about Ys 10 Nordics? I think it's looking pretty good. Let me know in the comment section below. But we also have some more awesome Ys news with Ys Memoir, The Oath in Falgana is finally coming over to the West in early 2025. We got a physical refined edition that will be dropping here for people to go pick up. And I think that's the one that you have to really look at, is the physical edition of this game. It's probably going to be a bit more limited, so it's going to be a buy now before rare for sure. So let's get into it here. So publisher Xseed and Marvelous Europe will release Ys Memoir, The Oath in Thalgana for PS5, PS4, and Switch in early 2025. In North America and Europe, the companies have announced Ys Memoir, The Oath in Thalgana first launched for the Switch on April 27, 2023 in Japan, followed by the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 on May 23, 2024. Now, there will be, like I stated before, a limited physical refined edition, and it'll be available for the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch only for $59.99. Pre-orders should be available at some point. Go check. I'll have a link for you guys as well. And at participating retailers and the Xseed Game Store. It includes a copy of the game, 14 soundtrack CD, acrylic diorama, keychain set, and a set of 4 postcards with art from the game and a graphic cleaner cloth. Can't forget the graphic cleaner cloth. Now, for those that are interested more about the RPG and what this game is about, it's a pretty good game, pretty good classic title. So if you're into classic Falcom, classic JRPGs, this game absolutely is for you. So Ys Memoir, The Oath of Thalgana brings the RPG classic originally released under the title Ys 3 Wanderers from Ys, then later released as Ys The Oath of Thalgana to modern platforms with improved visuals while retaining the action RPG's core gameplay and charm. Ys Memoir, The Oath in Thalgana follows thrill-seeking protagonist Adal and his blue-haired companion Dogi as they return to Dogi's homeland of Thalgana. The 8 years they've been away have not been kind to the lands, which are now filled with roaming monsters, a newly active volcano, and a greedy new overlord extorting the suffering residents. While Dogi seeks help from his former master, Adal remains to help the locals, only to find himself embroiled in a world of conspiracies and ancient legacies. There's always something crazy with this man Adal. This is pretty cool. This is some good news for old school classic RPG fans. You guys know I'm going to be buying me a copy of this and absolutely having it in a buy now before rare video in the future, because it is going to be limited, and these type of Ys games, sometimes they go rare, like Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana did for quite some time. All right, let's get into another topic here, and we're going to discuss Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, because there was a lot of, I would say, controversy about the price of this game. A bit less than what we're getting with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which is completely fine. I think people are allowed to say what they want to say. I still feel that, hey, look, if it's a price that you don't like, don't buy it, or wait for a sale, or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, everyone's allowed to say what they've got to say. But I wanted to go over exactly how does that translate to the game sales. Do people feel in other places? Obviously, Luigi's Mansion is one of those games that's more of a slow burn, and we do have the debut opening sales for Luigi's Mansion 2 in Japan, retail only, no digital. And the Luigi's Mansion actually had a pretty solid week. Now, the sales were from June 24, 2024 to June 30th, 2024. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD launched on June 27th. So we're looking at about 3 days of sales here, not including digital, and it sold a pretty impressive 88,425 retail copies for a Nintendo 3DS HD remaster port thingy, right? So I think that's pretty solid overall. My dude Stealth actually put up a nice comparison between Luigi's Mansion 2 and Luigi's Mansion 3 previous games just to see how it stacked up, and it did fairly well in a comparison as well, all things considered. There's still probably a lot of people who maybe didn't have a Nintendo 3DS, or maybe we're just looking to pick up the game because they like Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Nintendo Switch. And I'm guessing, especially with these sales starting out here, 88,000 units plus, if you add in digital sales, where from what I understand, Luigi's Mansion 2 is #1 on the eShop. Amazon, it's doing good on there as well, physical. So if you add in all of that, we're probably looking at 100,000 units plus for this game. And once again, it is a Nintendo 3DS game remastered, and Tantalus did this one, and it's a solid remaster from what Digital Foundry has stated. Now, I do feel that there's two major things for me, at least. I'm going through the game and I'm playing it, and I'm definitely going to have some content for you guys on the game, but just no 60 frames per second. I would have liked for them to bump that up to 60 frames. There's plenty of overhead and horsepower in order to get that done. They didn't do that. Then also no surround sound, 5.1. I would have loved for them to do that as well. So those are my two knocks on the game, but everything else so far from what I've played has been good. It's the Luigi's Mansion that I remembered, but this time without the lower resolution, without the smaller screen. Now I can play it on a big HD TV. I have an OLED and it looks beautiful on there. And they actually touched up the graphics a bit more. It's not just a cleaner version of the game. You see more shadows and details. It's more vibrant. There's a lot more stuff in the game as well. And of course, I can play the game with a Pro controller. So that's definitely a good thing over the Nintendo 3DS controller with the analog sticks. So I definitely like that a bit more. But yeah, 88,000 units definitely showing that people are going to be picking up what they feel like picking up. We'll see what happens with Luigi's Mansion, the original. I personally would have loved for them to have a double pack if they would have just done Luigi's Mansion plus Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, put it all into one. That would have been perfect, and I think they could have done a bit better, but we'll see what they do with Luigi's Mansion 1 in the future. So what do you guys think overall with all the different topics that we discussed, from the Final Fantasy creator and what he had to say with Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey, to the Ys memoir, The Oath in Thelgana, and of course, Luigi's Mansion debut sales? Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.